today, and I want to thank you for coming along for, I think this is part 4 of the Daily Detox. And it's been a fun ride, and we are continuing to just speak about the importance of a simple daily detox protocol and some of the easy ways that we were incorporating the daily detox to just kind of feel better so that we can experience better and really just keep our health. And some of the favorite ways that we talked about, of course, we went through the in-depth review in parts 2 and 3. Last week we were talking with our friend Jack Autry about his experience with a really bad antibiotic reaction, and that was quite interesting, and we were sure grateful that Jack shared that story with us. And Jack, if you're out there listening today, thanks again, and we'll look forward to chatting again soon with that. So today we're talking about, let's see, the title was, what was the title? Friendly bacteria? Question mark, exclamation point. We have become very, very fearful of bacteria in this culture, in this time and space. And I do apologize if there was clicking on the phone. I'm trying to get my little notes up here. So here we go. It should be good. We'll just kind of leave it here for now. Otherwise, I can put my headset on, but I'm assuming everybody can hear me okay. As we continue today, week 4, friendly bacteria in our culture today. We are very, very fearful of bacteria. And this fear of bacteria has caused us to really great detriment to our overall health. And the detriment to our overall health has been ongoing and generational. And this has been happening for probably close to 100 years, that we've kind of been on this belief that bacteria is not our friend. And it kind of goes right along with the excuse me, allopathic mode of medicine, with which we are really the only mode of medicine. The allopathic medicine model is the only model that we're really offered in today's society. And so that's why it's been my passion to seek out alternatives, because I didn't like the narrative and I didn't like what was happening. And I am going to get a glass of water. Give me 10 seconds. All right, thanks so much for your patience there. I was doing a little warm-up beforehand and had a little frog in my throat, so I apologize for that. Usually I have a glass of water right here. So with the onslaught of really this belief that bacteria was the problem, and the invention of antibiotics, which really, really did help when they were first discovered with bacterial infections. But the overuse of these antibiotics has tipped our health and made us kind of chronically weakened and more susceptible to environmental toxins and the resulting lack of health that those bacteria, viruses, parasites can cause because we are in a weakened state. So if we were to talk today about top 5 bacteria boosters, good bacteria boosters, we would be saying that we would be exploring that from a mindset, from a different perspective than all bacteria needs to be purged or killed or wiped out, annihilated, and that we need to use these toxic chemicals in order to do that, when really, generally speaking, if our hygiene is good, which good hygiene created more health in the 20th century than anything else, that when we have the adequate amount of these friendly bacterium, then we really have the buoyant health. So in my thoughts today about some of my top 5 bacteria boosters, we're going to kind of go along the lines of, number 1, recognize that good bacteria is key to good health and that we have to feed it. And it is in the feeding of this good bacteria that I kind of mentioned in the promo for this, about how my mother would always say, feed your friendly bacteria. That was her mantra for us growing up. And that was usually preceded by her offering us something that we found disgusting, like wheat germ. I think it was big wheat germ in the 70s. We would do the orange Julius with some wonderful additives in there. And of course, my mother always promoted, eat a banana, feed your friendly bacteria. And she was very wise, but sadly, she was taken from us too young due to a severe reaction to the properly prescribed medicine that she was given. And that is called the iatrogenic or death by doctor or doctor-induced death. And we talked about that last week with Jack because he had had a pretty serious reaction to some of his medication that he had been on, and he had never even considered the possibility that maybe allopathy or prescribe all of these antibiotics were the best thing, because what occurs is we go into that weakened state, as I mentioned, by first chink in the armor is that bowel dysbiosis, that stomach upset, something has occurred, our digestion is not as robust as it needs to be to keep us in optimal health. So we feed our good bacteria with the good prebiotics and the probiotics. But here's a funny thing about the prebiotics and the probiotics is they really don't work for us if we don't create the right environment. That's why prebiotics are as important as the probiotics. That's kind of like number 2. For top 5 bacteria boosters are the prebiotics and the probiotics. But something that we really don't consider as well in this culture, not just the over-prescribing of some of these medications, in my opinion, but the devastating effect that these blue lights have on our overall endocrine systems. This blue light that is everywhere, especially if you're doing any time on your smartphone, your telephone, your computer, your tablet, and really, who isn't these days? If you are in this crazy modern technologically, I think technologically challenged society, but I'm sure others would disagree with me because we really worship this technology and this degradation of the full spectrum of light And as long as we're talking about light, we must talk about sound as well, both what is heard and unheard. Same with these light spectrums, that which is seen and unseen. So what these lights do to this light factor, that what it does to our endocrine system is it messes with the circadian rhythm, which then doesn't allow us to process sugars properly, and that moves us into this chronic condition that they call diabetes or insulin resistance, or a variety of different names. And this inability to process the sugars in which we are bombarded by with all the extra carbs in this culture, we can't process those sugars properly. That keeps us in this chronic inflammation state that over a long period of time causes, all of these things that we hear about today, which is really just this lack of ease, which is brought about by these bad lights, these LED lights, the blue lights, the fluorescent lights, so the compact fluorescent lights, and it's this little tiny chinking away. So these lights that mess with our circadian rhythm keep us from being able to sleep deeply during those critical hours between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m., where resting, digesting, repairing is occurring. So one of the foods, if we were going to feed our gut bacteria, we would have to make sure that we are getting ample light every day. And I don't know about where you are, but sometimes I think we are in a suspiciously gray experience here. And trying to get out with no sunglasses on, nothing obstructing the full eyes, or the eyes as we get full spectrum of light all throughout the day. So getting outside with no glasses on, no contacts on, putting your body in the sun, your photons and receptors that are on the skin, it's important to get as much of the sun on our skin as we can, and then using, crazy as it may seem, the blue blockers when we are inside and when we are on our technology. And I'm standing here right now wishing I had my blue blockers right in front of me, because I started the show without mine on. But the last few days I have been not turning on any lights in the house and just letting my eyes adjust to the quote-unquote natural light that's coming through the windows, but also getting my face and my body out in the sun periodically, and then going dark to sleep, complete darkness. And I have to use a night mask. I have my magnetic eye mask that I sleep with to make sure that I am processing the light of the day that I receive at night by sleeping in total darkness, so that my body's circadian rhythm can be as healthy as it can be. So top 5 bacteria boosters, number 3 would be POM, or peace of mind, POM, peace of mind. 85% of good health starts with our thoughts about good health, our belief in good health, not the scare tactics of the eventual decay and death of this physical reality that is life. And to be able to move with a peace of mind about that eventual occurrence that each of us have in common. If nothing else upon this planet, we all have that in common, that we will each meet our demise of this beautiful physical reality. And we want it to be as beautiful as possible for as long as possible. Remember, we want to be healthy, happy, healthy, happy, healthy, happy, healthy, happy, dead, right? After a very long, wonderful, beautiful lifetime. So our peace of mind includes that communion or daily prayer, where we are manifesting the feeling of prayer already realized. So whether we're awakened to the Christ consciousness or to the universal heartbeat of the planet, whatever it is that resonates within our own being, that also resonates outwardly, that is that healing frequency. And so our peace of mind is integral to this, keeping the stomach, the tummy, the belly, the second brain, right? We have our gray matter in our head, and then we have our stomach, which is considered the second brain. So if we are worrying, in the frequency of worrying, we're actually repelling the goodness in our life. And to take that fast from that abstinence from the negativity. It's very easy with the disruption to our natural rhythms of our body, mind, and spirit to be in this place of negativity, to buy into that, because there is an onslaught for our presence, our grateful, abundant, blessed presence. And if we are in a place where we are disgruntled, distracted, diseased, lack of ease, we don't have this peace of mind that is required to keep our friendly bacteria, all of our healthy, happy little good beings in our bellies that promote good health. Because if 85% of our thoughts create our health, that health, 85% of the body's immunity is stored in the 4 pounds of bacterium that dwell within our gut. And if it's not healthy bacteria or friendly bacteria, then it is the antithesis of that, and that drives ill health as much as that good bacteria, which do have a consciousness, they do carry light, drives our good health. So does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. I know that's tough. So we're recognizing, number one, recognizing that good bacteria is key to health, and we're feeding it. What are we feeding it? We're feeding it the light that it requires by getting rid of the negative light in our lives, and reconnecting to that big, hopefully warm yellow star that is our sun, but it's really not become the cold white star that it seems to be lately. Those are our prebiotics, our probiotics, so we can supplement or eat some of those foods. And in the newsletter, I'll include some of the foods, sauerkraut, fermented foods, of course, maybe homemade kefir. You want to watch the sugar level, the kombuchas, the beneficial mushrooms, the potato starch, which is a good lining, but really the fermented food. Most cultures that are considered in the blue zone, which are the healthiest people, first, they don't take none of them take prescription drugs. And the second thing is they include fermented food with every meal. So in number 3 would be then to make our prebiotics and probiotics as beneficial as they can be. We have to keep that poem, the peace of mind, with our daily contemplative, prayerful, Christ consciousness, awakening, expanding, healing, feeling thought processes that further buoys that 4 pounds of bacterium, feeds it the consciousness that they also require, right? And then number 4 would be the confidence to be healthy. The confidence to be healthy. Oftentimes when I see people who are experiencing the allopathic modality, and I want to say here, if you're broken or bleeding, the emergency room, no greater care in my, if you need it, get in, get out, get stable, get on with the rest of your life. But, if you can keep yourself as confidently healthy. So often when we see that model where people are in that allopathic model, the Western model of cut, prescribe, radiate, poison, people really lose their confidence quickly because I remember when my sister was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, immediately the bureaucracy takes over immediately. And I must say, I really didn't see, the nurses did a fantastic job with my sister, and they really were as helpful as they could be. But at that time, and this is 15 years ago, nobody was willing to even talk about the toxifications that probably cause this lymphoma, which we now know to be true, but that's for another show. So that confidence to be healthy, as opposed to, oh my gosh, we schedule it on the calendar, we got to go to the doctor, they make you wait 3 weeks so that you're in a stressful situation, you're gripping your gut, and that is further tipping the scales towards this health. Sometimes these procedures, and we talk about the work that Dr. John Bergman has talked about with some of these procedures that are more damaging than if you were to even have the condition that they're supposed to be testing for. So do you have the confidence to be healthy? And let's just think remember when we were in, I can't remember what class it was, but where we stood confidently, you looked online. That was when, so many people were standing like Superman or Superwoman or something, where we were actually standing in this confident manner, breathing in, and we're putting our thumbs right on those pressure points right at the kidney point, and we're just breathing, and we're like, you know what? Wow, this body is so amazing. This life is so amazing. So profoundly grateful. That healing attitude of gratitude is feeding to this. And the belief that, you know what? I am healthy, happy. I am healthy. I am happy. I'm grateful. I am healthy, happy, grateful. And getting into that confident pose with purpose to attain and maintain our beautiful, healthy bodies for as long as we can. For as long as we can. We used to know these things innately. The languaging might have been different, but, you think about what did my mother say, other than keep feeding your friendly bacteria, but go outside and play, go outside and play, get outside, go blow the stink off you, get outside. She would force us outside under that sun. Well, how many young people are outside the majority of the day? We'd be out all day long. Of course, I'd always want to come in and probably take a nap and have some cookies or something. I was kind of whiny, if you can believe that, as a kid. But no, I remember her clearly locking us out of the house. Get outside, stay outside. And we did. We had to go play in the dirt. We had to find things to do to occupy our time. And we had the confidence to be healthy. We were out there receiving all those beautiful light. This was 30, 35 years ago, and as the progression of this agenda to weaken us overall has occurred, it has been less than healthy people having less than healthy people having less than healthy people. And God bless all the babies that are coming onto the earth plane now. We want them to be buoyant in their health. So, are you willing to be healthy? Do you believe you can be healthy? What is health? Is it more than just the absence of pain and the ability to feel purposeful, or to feel, this propelling us forward with this love and light and consciousness, as opposed to being drained all the time and unable to manifest. So number 5 would be the willingness to be different. I can't tell you how many people in my life just think I'm a total whack job. The quote unquote voodoo that I've practiced for more than 30 years, but generally most of the time I feel powerful, dynamic, healthy, happy, grateful. And when I'm not, I am able to create a healing, a detoxification pathway for myself. Maybe it's a negative thought. We were talking recently about all bombardment with negativity. So to clear that out, getting more sunshine, going for a walk, get out there, blow the stink off of us. And then come to those simple realizations that this body is self-healing and self-regulating if we give it the initial tools that it needs. And today we were talking about top 5 good bacteria boosters, because we have to create the environment for this good bacteria to thrive. So generally speaking, with chronic conditions, the first 4 pounds you lose are the most damaging 4 pounds you could ever lose. And people are like, what are you talking about? Oh, to lose weight, you got to be skinnier or whatever. No, because that first 4 pounds that we lose with regards to our health is that healthy bacterium that's in our gut, because we have this chronic fear of bacteria. But it requires specific things to keep it abundant, and we want to be able to keep ourselves healthy, happy, grateful moving forward. So look for a few more things in the newsletter. Really, it's coming, I think, by the end of next week. I've just been adding to it, so now it's 4 parts, and I want to invite everybody to come along for my private inner circle, which is the ABCs of Wellness. It is a 26 part series, and we are generally live with that teaching. I go about every 2 weeks on that, and if you sign up now, it's $19.97 per month, and you get to catch up with the first. We'll just get you on the list, and you will be able to just catch up. You get a bi-weekly download from me, and the invitation to be on those live calls, because we're going to be starting those back up in September. So again, that's my private Patreon group. It's $19.97 a month to join, and it's a free 45-minute call about every 2 weeks we do, and it's called the ABCs Wellness, and we really, really, really go more deeply into all of these teachings that we're talking about. So I'm coming to the end of the call, and I'm so grateful that you're here with me, and it's been my great honor to present these to you, and I hope that we were loud and clear for most of the call. And again, I want to thank you for your time today as we choose to be healthy, happy, grateful moving forward. Thanks so much.